Okay, today I'm going to teach you the chain stitch. We have our yarn, we have our crochet hook. I have a medium 4-weight yarn and an H hook, a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. So today we're going to learn how to chain. So we know how to tie our slip knot, and that's how you start everything. And we know how to hold our yarn, and that's how you start. So once you've got a slip knot and your yarn held in a way that helps the tension, you use your crochet hook, and we're going to learn how to chain. When the pressure's just right, and you want to have a little bit of a hole in here. You don't want to have it so tight that you can't get this in and out. And that's true with all the stitches. You wrap it around. I go underneath. This is called a yarn over. I think it should be called a hook under because I'm working with the hook and moving all the hook around and not the yarn. But this is a hook under, a yarn over. And that's a pretty good way to keep the hook facing down, because if you turn it up like this and you're pulling on it, it doesn't let go. If you keep it down like this and you're pulling up on it, there's that little hole there that pulls out easy. So keeping the hook facing down helps a lot to get it through that with the stitch. So you can go yarn under and hook over. This makes a smaller stitch. It's a little harder for me, and so I'm not going to teach you that way today, just to pull it through like that. But so I go yarn over, hook under, wrap it around from the bottom side, grab hold of it, and when it's wrapped over the top like that, it's easy to pull through. And that is a chain. Once you get going underneath, wrap it around, grab it, keep the hook facing down, and pull it through. Underneath, hook underneath, yarn over, wrap it around, grab it, pull it through. And then this is what it'll look like. Little V's kind of going up, and the next one coming out of the top of that one. And these are each individually stitched. When you're counting stitches, you don't count the one on your hook. You count these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4, that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches on that chain. So you keep going like that and practicing that one. There's some things you can do with chains, and we'll go into that in a little while. But you can get so that you can chain pretty fast. Another way to learn how to chain, some of the very first ways you learn to chain is with our fingers. No hook at all. So you have a little bit bigger slip knot on the bottom that you can get your fingers through. And you grab hold of this yarn that we're working with and just pull it through. And that makes another loop. Make that loop big enough to put your fingers through, grab some more, put your fingers through that loop, pull another loop. Now it gets bigger every time, so you might have to size these down a little bit, or if you pull these really tight, you can get a really tight stitch right here too. Depends on what you want to do with that. So 2 fingers through the loop, grab the working yarn, but I hold the bottom one so there's something to pull against, and tighten that down. And then once you get too big of a loop, you pull that back. So that is how to hand chain, and there's some fun things you can do with that too. So I learned this way to hand chain. I think I taught my children and some of my grandchildren how to do this first, and generally speaking, they give them a ball of yarn and let them do this, and they come back with a giant chain. So, and some of them are as long as our house or long as a room, and then after they've chained this for a while, and they've done this a long time, and they come up with a big row of chains, then you can roll these up in a ball and do something and make kind of a thicker yarn to it. So this kind of becomes the yarn that you use to crochet with, but it's thicker and it's chained. So there's things you can do with that. But it's kind of fun when you're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to do that, to start learning, because sometimes It's hard to hold a crochet hook, and it takes some learning, especially the tension. I think that holding the crochet hook and getting the tension right is the hardest part of crocheting. And so after that, once you get that down, and it takes practice, sometimes it takes a lot of time, and try again and try again. Keep practicing, because once you get that down, crochet becomes really fun. There's so many things you can do with it, so many fun things to do. So crocheting can be really fun, and almost all ages can start doing something to do with crochet and learn about yarn. Thank you.